Making a dessert today in the Disney Villains cookbook, and this is one of those recipes that's more of like a decoration idea than like a recipe, so to say. And they're called Captain Hook Brownie Bites, and I'll get you the picture here. So basically what this is doing is you're taking like the store-bought brownies. I mean, you could make your own if you really wanted to. The little small ones, you're getting some frosting, which I just bought store-bought for that, and some candy melts, and you're just gonna basically, I'll show the picture here, like pipe this frosting, like two different types of frosting, or the same frosting, just one's color, but two different styles with the piping bag, and then make this little like chocolate candy hook and place it on top. All right, time to get started. Okay, so here I have my melts, which I have here. They are white with a little bit of dark chocolate. So I'm going to mix these together. I'm gonna put them in this piping bag here. And then on this sheet, I'm going to attempt to pipe out the hook shape. There we go. And this is kind of dripping out of my thing. I'm going to do, it's almost, the picture, it almost looks like a, it's not very neat of me, but in the view here of this with my hand, I'm trying to, I almost need the one hand to hold it steady. I'm just doing like this little circle. Over and down. I'm just gonna, looks a little thin, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the gap. All right, so I've got hooks all over the place of different sizes and shapes here, but I think this is a good start. I've never really done anything with chocolate before, so this is a nice, simple, easy thing. I don't want them too big. It looks like they're pretty delicate, so hopefully this will work, and I'll let these kind of set, and I'll start with the frosting of the brownies. All right, so I'm preparing my frosting. So I'm gonna take some frosting that I bought in this container here. And you need white and red. So I'm gonna just put some in a bowl here. About half the can, just to be safe, because it seems like there's a little bit more white there, or more red than white, but. All right, so I'm just putting some red food coloring in here. I'm gonna stir this up and get it until it's probably the desired shade of red that I'm looking for. That says Captain Hook. Okay, so that's probably about as red as I'm gonna get with this frosting. So I'm gonna put that in a piping bag with this kind of just round tip to kind of go for that look here that we're going. And then the white is gonna go in a piping bag with more of a star tip. All right, so I have my brownies here. It says it does 12, I'm just gonna start with 8. And I think I'm just gonna go through actually and do all the red first. Just gonna give it like kind of this nice round, kind of going for the look there. All right, so just kind of do like a little, time for the finishing touch. We'll see how these hooks turned out. Not too bad. Just gonna pick like what I think are the best ones. All right, here are all the done brownies. I'm not gonna taste test these because I think if you've ever had a brownie with icing, you know what this is gonna taste like. It's all store-bought stuff, and I'm sure most of you had it. And brownies with icing are delicious. Review time for the brownies. I mean, I'm gonna basically rate the decoration part of this. You know, as far as the flavor goes, that's on you. You know what I mean? Like, you just make brownies you like or buy store-bought brownies you like. The same thing with the frosting. So if you don't like the taste, I'm sorry. That's not really the cookbook's fault in this case here. But anyway, they were still cute. I thought they were a nice little decoration. I could see these being really fun to do at maybe like not only a pirate party, you know, like Peter Pan or pirates or anything like that. That could be kind of a fun little thing to do. Though I think that mine hooks sort of look like question marks. So maybe even like a Riddler, like a Batman thing could work too. So let's rank the ingredients first on a scale of 1 to 5. I'm going to give like a 1.5, which means nothing's hard to find, nothing's super expensive. But I mean, if you don't have piping bags, you might need to go buy those. And those aren't super expensive or the tips or anything. And melting chocolate can also be a little pricey too. So that's why it's like slightly above a 1 instead of like a 1.5. Difficulty level on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is easy and 5 is hard. I mean, I think piping, especially if you're not used to it, and you know, I'm getting more familiar with it as I do this challenge and things like that. I would say this was probably like a 2. It's really not that hard, but I mean, yeah, if you're buying everything pre-made, you know, you're just piping, and there's a lot of grace in this piping, you know, because you're just making that hook shape and you're just piping out of a bag, like kind of like just a quick little circle. You're not trying to make any fancy decorations or shapes with it. So I think that's easy. And then would I make it again on a scale of 1 to 5? And again, I'm just ranking the decoration here. You know, I'm not ranking this because it's not really like a food recipe. I'm neutral at a 3. I can't personally think of a reason why I would need to do this, but again, it's one of those like, hey, you know, maybe if I do happen to someday have a themed event or party or social gathering and like Peter Pan or Pirates or Disney Villains is the theme, then hey, yeah, maybe I'll do these because it's a cute little way to kind of spruce up your brownie dessert.